Hello, my name's Mary. I'm transgender. So the reason I'm making this video is I figure not many people get to hear what it's like to be transgender. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna tell my story about me growing up. And I figure I'll probably get a lot of bad comments on this. I already know I will. But the thing is I've got to do this because there's people out there who can't be themselves. And some of them can't do it because they're kids, and that's just not right. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's scary. It's scary for me making this video, but I figure it needs to be done. Now, my own experience is I live in North Carolina, so if you don't know much about North Carolina, it's pretty much a very conservative state, and while I live, there's a lot of nice people around, and I do get my gender respected and my pronouns respected. Um, it's still kind of, well, in some areas that they're not very respectful of who a person is. So I've been lucky and I was asked to speak on the panel. So I fi- I figured that's good and all, and I can reach people there, but how am I going to reach others? So I figured, okay, what I'll do is I'll make a YouTube video and send it out and let people see it and hear my story. I know some people have already clicked off because I said I'm transgender. And if you want to know the truth, that took me about 4 or 5 times trying to upload this video. Well, record this video. It's it's weird because it doesn't get any easier every time. I mean, with people I know, you know, that I've got people that I go to in my church and stuff. Well, my whole church knows. Um, People I grew up with, I think they know. I don't know if my college, if my girlfriend from college knows or not. I think I sent her. Oh, by the way, we're not together or anything anymore. But I sent her like a little message, and it got completely ignored. It didn't say one way or another. Of course, we weren't together at the time, and this had been we'd been broken up for years. But it's like, well, anybody I've been connected to, I've tried to let them know. So it's like right now, it's not going to be that big of a deal if anybody really connected to me finds out. And I know there's people out there, kids and some grown ups and stuff, that get kicked out of their families. So it's like, you know, I should tell about me, and then see what happens. I'm sure I'll get again a whole lot of bad comments. Trust me, I told my story to a local paper, and it, yeah, well, let's just say I stayed away well, my brother told me to stay away. Well, my brother's wife told me to stay away from the comment. Told him to stay away from comments. My brother went and looked, cause of course he's curious, and then of course this is on Facebook now, and then he and then I looked. There were some hurtful ones. Um, that's just how things are gonna be. I mean, to quote my therapist, people are just plain ignorant. And people can be just plain jerks too. So, yeah, especially if they think, I don't know, they got this whole idea that their how they live is absolutely 100% right, and they don't know anything about you, which, you know, being a transgender guy like myself, I can get beat up just walking down the street or killed. I mean, it's happened before. And of course, living in North Carolina, there's that whole HB2 mess. Oof. I tell you, that was bad. And I don't think we still fixed that problem. And again, it's because, well, most people are nice in North Carolina. A lot of them don't realize they've met or know a transgender person. I mean, a lot of people are stealth because they have to be, and that's totally cool for me. I figure I'm going to not be, or at least be somewhat open and out to people, because someone has to. If things are going to get fixed, I'm going to have to start helping. So it's kind of like the whole thing is someone's got to start doing something and showing that we're people too. By the way, this is my apartment. It's kind of small. Yeah, I tend to ramble sometimes, so forgive that. I like to play with my hair too. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's kind of small. Let's see. Just so you know, I have a disability. It that may be too much to give information to give in a YouTube video. I don't know. I could see some bad comments come from that. It's just, but anyway, one of the things I was going to talk about is, and you can't see me when I'm being nervous because luckily the webcam's only showing up to here, which has got a real good picture of me here. But anyway, see, I told you I ramble. Let's see. So anyway, like I said, I'm on SSI. So basically I'm poor, which isn't anything new for transgender people. A lot of transgender people are poor. And that was because we don't get any protection. I mean, I'm poor because of my disability. But there's a lot out there that are poor because there's no job security. Some are homeless because they're homeless. Tongue tied there. Homeless because there's absolutely no security on how they can, protection on how they can stay in their home. So they get kicked out. And I realize there's lots of ums and stuff, but that's because I talk and think at the same time. So please bear with me on that. So I guess I really should tell my story. So basically, it starts when I was, I'd say, 3 or 4 years old. And I would go, of course, you always hear that, some people saying, you can't know that age. Yeah. If someone, the people who are transgender, like me, by the way, transgender is supposed to be used as an adjective, but anyway, people who are transgender like me, we, at that age, yeah, you kind of have some hints. Now, you may not realize what those hints mean until later. You might be too scared to face what those hints mean. I mean, at 4 years old, I would, and it may have been 3 years old, but I would go, I'd be in the bathroom, and there would be my mom's makeup, and I'd be sitting there putting on my mom's makeup. Of course, I'm the youngest child, so it's like, it's like I had this same idea in my head, and I'm not 100% sure what would happen because I never got caught doing it. But in my head, I knew it's like, okay, if mom sees me putting on her makeup, I'm going to be in real trouble. But I knew I enjoyed wearing her makeup. So I would go put on her makeup. A lot of times it was just the powder, compact, and lipstick. I'd put it on, and I'd look in the mirror, smile, and wash it off. Of course, when And then in kindergarten, I, well, when you get into school, things get gendered, I guess that's the way to say. And like now, kids have a little bit more freedom, not much. But then, yeah, no, we didn't have any freedom. So basically, what it was the freedom I had to basically be myself was choosing who I play with. So in kindergarten, I was always playing with the girls, and that's why I was comfortable around. Of course, I remember this 1980s. Yeah, I'm 37 by the way. In the 1980s, no one knew. Well, that's not true. People knew what being transgender was and who being a transgender person is, but it didn't get any coverage. So being a transgender kid in 1980 was kind of one of those things where it's like no one really notices, and when it's you don't really want to talk about it because everything that was going on in the 1980s. I mean, you had a bunch of stuff. I mean, it was if a kid any kids that came out then would have been rough. Plus, there was a kid at my school got picked on a lot, and it was for another thing than the kid's body looked different. Um, I got picked on a lot because I'm guessing the other kids said something. I don't know, but I did get picked on a lot too. But that's just could be because of my voice. It could be because I never quite figured it out, but I did get picked on a pretty good amount when I went to elementary school. Yeah, in fact, I actually had my best friend. Well, I thought it was my best friend. Pile driving me on cement. Yeah, that wasn't the best idea I ever had. Well, just later on, he's like, can I do this to you? Me, sure. Yeah. So I wasn't the brightest kid either. But anyway, back to kindergarten. I can remember, the the, the one group of boys would always be off doing something. I'd go off and hang out with the girls. It's just who I was. And of course, no one thought anything about it. And of course, in the 80s, they didn't have any really Disney princess movies or Disney movies like they did in the 90s, which that's really when I'm like, okay, I know I'm transgender, but I don't want to say anything. I mean, I knew in the 80s, but they didn't have anything like that. I mean, I like Shira. I knew I liked Shira. And if you don't know, Shira's He-Man's sister. So anyway, but I like Shira. I had a little tiny strawberry shortcake figurine, and I liked the original strawberry shortcake in the 80s. So it's like I had hints. It's just you don't know. I mean, I didn't have anyone to talk to about this with, so it was like, okay. I knew I'm not exactly like I knew I wasn't like the other boys. I mean, I can remember I'd go to my grandmother's and my mom would take her shoes off and I'd put on her high heels and wear her shoes. Which, looking back at it now, I know why. But the funny thing is, why put on my grandmother's shoes? But I would never, or I don't think I hardly ever put on my dad's shoes. Of course, this kind of got ignored. Oh, by the way, drink. Ginger ale, by the way. But this got really ignored or not paying much attention to is a phase they thought. And this was what of course my parents were thinking. It definitely wasn't a phase, but I'm figuring that's what my mom and dad thought. But and I had cousins that I love them to death, but they loved watching me and my brother get into fights. Like wrestling matches. And I'd always end up losing it anyway. But the thing is, you know, it's like in the 80s, and when I was growing up, it's like I was kind of forced into being a guy. I mean, I was put in to Cub Scouts. I got my hair of light, by the way. So, you know, so everything about gals being in Cub Scouts and stuff, girls being Cub Scouts, this gal has her hour of light. So, we'll lay on that one. So, so I went through that, and then after we blow, which is part of Cub Scouts, really. I mean, it's kind of a transition period, but that's where I got my hour of light. I went into Boy Scouts, which that's anyway. But anyway, when I was in elementary school and stuff, I'd have friends, and some of them were, and a lot of them were female friends. And when one of my favorite, I mean, I love playing house with them. Of course, my older brother, you know, he played with us, and of course he was the typical man type, you know, guy. But I usually, and the female would be the wife, and I usually was a little kid. That was the way I remember it. But, and I don't think it wasn't because we were really that much different in age. I mean, my brother's only 3 years older than me, so there wasn't like this huge age difference, but that's just where I got put. So let's see, what else should I say? Anyway, about middle school, my dad passed away. I was in 7th grade. So, of course, I was really lonely, but I knew I had started Boy Scouts, probably about a year or two before. As 5th grade, so yeah, about 2 years before. So, anyway, I started Boy Scouts then, and I'd probably gotten up to 1st class at that point. So that kind of gives you, but, of course, when I was in Scouts, again, because of my size and I guess personality, I had like one person that would kind of bully me. And then I had a lot that kind of rallied around to protect me until, you know, I also think because I knew my brother. But I think that only happened until my dad passed away. Once my dad passed away, all the older scouts would get their eagle and go on. And so the people that came in that were my age or slightly under me, for some reason, I was picked on. But the thing about that was, after my dad passed away, I can remember sitting there, and we had this, where we lived, we had like it wasn't a wire screen door, it was a glass door. So we had this glass door, and so it fogged up when it was cold, and when it was cold and fogged up, I rode the bus in the mornings. So, because my mom worked, she had been working 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But, so, my mom worked, and, see, I told you I played with my hair a lot. So I'd fog up the screen, and I'm very bad at drawing, but I draw little stick figures, and it'd be like, I wish I was a mermaid, or I wish I was a fairy princess, because I wanted to be female, and I knew it. I also knew with my dad just having passed away, and my mom and brother dealing with that, which it took us a long time to deal with that. I think in some ways I'm still dealing with it. But, you know, yeah. Um, it's one of those things that's not exactly the easiest thing to deal with. But, so I do that. This was, well, my dad passed away in 93. So it was around the late 80s when the Disney Princess movie started to come out, too, like right beforehand. And it was kind of interesting because I knew I identified more with the Disney princesses than the Disney heroes. My favorite Disney princess was, well, and it still is, Princess Jasmine. And again, I do it in the bathroom because, of course, I got to keep this all hidden from my mom. So I'd hide in the bathroom, I'd take my shirt off, put it over my head, stuff it with toilet paper, and tie the arms, and you had to have long arms, tie the arms, and try to make it look like Princess Jasmine's braid, and put it on my head, and tried to stuff enough toilet paper so that I had, I don't know if you've seen, well, you've probably seen pictures of Princess Jasmine, but her hair is very pretty. I mean, it's bushy out and stuff, and kind of around her head. Well, I tried to get that look with the shirt, and tried to get the braid with the towel, and yeah, it was interesting. Of course, then I'd also do stuff like, you see how these sleeves are puffed? I've always wanted like puffed sleeves. So I'd be wearing a shirt, it'd be a t-shirt, and I'd take a roll of toilet paper, and I'd stuff it up into my shirt so it'd make it puffier. With this, I don't have to worry about that because it's something like that. Because I really wanted a puffy shirt. So I do that a lot. And if my voice changes from more to my natural voice to more feminine, I'm trying to keep it feminine, but it's not. It may or may not be working. So just bear with me there. And yeah. So anyway, I do that, and of course, this went on until my mom got remarried. My mom remarried a conservative former Southern Baptist pastor. Yeah, so incidentally, that person is still conservative Southern Baptist, not pastor anymore, but had to retire for health reasons, but still very conservative, very Southern Baptisty. So you can kind of imagine. Yeah, let's just say I knew at 13, 100%. I also knew when it's safe to come out, and that was not safe to come out. I mean, yeah. So basically, for a few years, I do what I can. It's like, how do you express yourself? Well, when you're in the bathroom hiding and no one knows you're in there, you put your mom's bra on. Incidentally, I still can't put a bra on. I'm not going to flash you this because, of course, I'm putting it on YouTube and I don't want it to be taken down. But I'll just put it like this. There is a bra under here. It's not padded. Everything under here is real. I mean, this is real. This is also after almost a year of hormones. So just so you know, I got hormones December 13th. So it's 11 months after hormones. So, okay. So, when I sit up straight, it may be a little bit easier to see. And so, anyway. But it's kind of, yeah. It's kind of, but it's kind of like I was putting on my mom's bra, and people wondering why I was in the bathroom. I was being myself. I'd put on my mom's bra, and then I'd lock the door. Cause again, you get really good. If you don't know, you get really good at being in the closet. you get to, of course, you have to come out at a point because it just basically tears you up inside. So, yeah. But anyway, I went off to college, and again, that's where I met my girlfriend in 1999. No, wait, that's when I went off to college. It's probably about 2003. Anyway, I hid out this from her, and I knew it myself because I'd read stories about people being transgender. I knew I was transgender. I'd write stories myself. I'd make drawings. And before anybody asks for my drawings, they're basically stick figures. I cannot draw. And my stories, yeah, they're not that good either. And a lot of my stories, my stories all revolved around me basically the Disney princesses finding out that I was transgender and making my dream come true. So I still have a little thing where I always seem to be neat for a Disney princess to come to my door and take me and like get to be dressed in a beautiful ball gown and get my hair done. Of course, you see how short it is and stuff, and it's not exactly like right length or anything to do what I'd love to have an updo, but yeah. But can't really do it because, well, it's kind of short, and yes, this is my hair, but it's kind of short and short up here too. But yeah, kind of have the Disney princess come, and it was usually Jasmine and Cinderella. I like Cinderella's dress and I like Jasmine's hair. Plus, Jasmine at that time was one of the best princesses. And of course I still have a thing for her, which I want to be her. I also want to be Cinderella too, so. But in fact, for Halloween, not this past year, but the year before, I went as Cinderella, and I went to Cinderella to the Renaissance Fair. Last year, not this year. This year I was just I was myself, and I had my own stuff. But anyway, and so near the end of college, they had this Halloween party, and so I so wanted, and I'd said I was gonna wear it's a 50s soft cut poodle skirt sweater, and I was gonna so wear it, and the girls were gonna help me get into it, and I was this close to coming out, this close. Then I kind of freaked out that day because I didn't want my girlfriend at the time to figure out I was transgender or to know. And I knew, I was like, as soon as I put this on, I'm going to be myself and there'll be no turning back. So I chickened out. Yeah. Coming out stories seem to have a lot of chickening out beforehand. But yeah, I chickened out. So anybody that comes out like in their teens or younger, or even in college, wow, you people are brave, because it took until I had my own place before I could. And part of it was a little bit it wasn't so much me understanding, it was I had a Southern Baptist pastor whose roof was going to be under, and then at another point it was my uncle who doesn't really understand being transgender. I don't think if you're not transgender, I don't think anybody really understands it. But anyway, so I basically chickened out, went through college, and then graduated from college. Now, one thing about when I was a scout, I did get my eagle. So yeah, this guy has her eagle too. So if someone didn't heard the Boy Scout stuff and then they kind of didn't listen to the rest of this video, yes, about Colored Radio, so bear with me, but the rest of this video, they wouldn't know, but yes, I am an Eagle Scout. Um, so, that's interesting. So you do have female Eagle Scouts out there, just for your information. But of course now they let transgender people be in Girl Scouts, which I think I've been more comfortable in, but we won't get into that whole thing, because again, it was the 90s when I was in Scouts, and, plus I was pretty much a chicken, and I was living with my super conservative stepfather. But anyway, so I got out of college, and when I stayed with my brother at his apartment for several years. My brother is a psychologist, and let's just say I, I would sit there and look, and he would have, he had a DSM-5. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Again, I have a biology degree, not a psychology degree. So, yeah, I got BS in biology. But anyway, it's kind of interesting because I'd go and I look and I'd read gender dysphoria, and I'm like, yeah, I have this. And then when my brother would come, I'd, shut up real quick. And then a couple times my brother did catch me. He's like, you were looking at gender dysphoria, weren't you? And I'd be like, no, I wasn't. Kind of looking off to the side. Because, yes, I was, but I wasn't ready to come out. And again, maybe if I came out, kind of coming out earlier would have probably helped a lot. Or, for all I know, I might have been dead by now. I don't know which. But, because being transgender is kind of scary. But, anyway. So, I said, since, I kind of deflect the question, because my brother knew, though. He didn't have it quite figured out. He knew I was part of the LGBTQ community. He just had the wrong part of what I was. He didn't realize I was T. He said he didn't realize I was transgender. So after talking to him, he's like, that makes a lot of sense. Which, I love my brother a lot. And my brother's been super supportive. My brother actually calls me by my name and actually uses my pronouns. And I'm just going to give him a quick shout out and tell him thank you, because that means the world to me when he does that. Especially when my mom is supportive too. I mean, she's gotten me clothes, and she's gotten me rings. My grandmother's got, this ring right here. Hold on. See that ring right there? It's kind of hard to see. But anyway, my grandmother's gotten me shoes, stockings, tries to help me. But my mom and grandmother haven't gotten, I don't think they've gotten comfortable yet with using my name or my right pronouns. Which they're both older, so maybe it'll come, I don't know. I mean, it hurts when they use my dead name. I mean, and I don't think they understand that. But it's like being jabbed in with a knife. I mean, really. But so yeah. Anyway, so I stayed with him for a while, and then eventually I went stayed with my mom for a while, and my super conservative stepfather. Yeah, and there's no way. And I went back to pre-college, hiding. Then I stayed with my uncle, and my uncle had to go to the hospital for surgery. It was something planned. It wasn't like life-threatening. It's something that he just had to go, but he had to go do it for, well, it wasn't an emergency life-threatening surgery. It was something that he was going to have to get done for a better quality of life and all that stuff. But he was also going to be in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks. So, my throat's getting dry again. So, basically, it was, he went into the hospital, and I had I had his house all to myself. So this was about 2 years ago. Halloween 2 years ago. Around Halloween 2 years ago. And so I see it, I'm like, and so I go on Amazon and I'm like, and I've been like up at nights knowing I'm transgender, and like I'd be up at nights and sometimes just crumple in the bathroom floor and just start crying because I'm at the point, this is where I'm at the point to where I'm going to come out to someone. I don't know who, but I'm going to come out to someone because it's like I know myself, and I'm like, so I can remember, it was my thinking, I'm going to get me, because a dress. It's Halloween. People dress up for Halloween. They won't know one way or another. And I was going to do it and give out candy. Um, I had I had gotten my apartment I'm currently in, I think, and I was still in the middle of moving in, but I was at my uncle's because he wanted someone to look after his house. So of course I'm looking, and I get onto Amazon and stuff, and they had a Princess Peach dress, and it wasn't that much. It was an adult Princess Peach dress. I could actually show it to you. Maybe if I do another video, I'll do it in that just so you could see it. But so it was an adult Princess Peach dress, and it came with the crown. It actually, the crown was plastic. It's broken since then, but the crown came with a plastic headband, and I'm like, well, I'll get this dress. If it's just something fleeting that I'm feeling, then once I put on this dress, it'll go away. Yeah, needless to say, that didn't happen. In fact, I remember I looked in the mirror and I saw myself in the dress, and I'm like, this is me. And I'm like, I literally had my hands right here, and I'm just like, basically like that, smiling, because it was me. It felt me. And so I called my brother, and I'm like, I have something to tell you. And my brother's like, what? I'm like, I'm transgender. And my brother's like, you're what? And I'm like, I'm transgender. And my brother's like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense now, because he had cleaned up my emails, and my emails sort of could tell. And so he cleaned up my emails and was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. So basically, I told him. Then I was on church council at the time, at my little ELCA Lutheran church. And since I was moving to Gastonia, I was like, well, I decided I was going to resign. So I was like, I'd been on it 2 years, and the term was only 3 years anyway. And it was getting in my second year, and I'm like, I'm going to have to resign because I'm going to be in Gastonia, and I don't want to drive down. Oh, I just said one minute. Anyway, I'm going to be in the town I'm currently living in, and I don't want to drive at night to my apartment. So I basically told them that I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to do this because I live too far away. I told the pastor. But then when I talked to the pastor, I go, Pastor, I want to tell you something else. I'm transgender. And I'm a transgender woman. My pastor, was very, 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 very understanding. In fact, my pastor still is, and very supportive. So I was out to my pastor and to my brother. It took a whole another year, well, almost until Mother's Day that year, till I came out to my church. And to be honest, most of the people at my church that I know of are completely fine with it. They still shake my hand. They use my right name and right pronoun. So you know what? It was scary. it turned out good. Also, I had to talk to my pastor, and there's another church, local church, and going to that church was was also an option. Well, and I ended up going to both churches. I'm an associate member at one, although I don't know if they ever made me the associate member at the one that I started going to. But I'm also, I mean, I've been a member for all my life at the other one, so it's one of those things where it's been interesting. Um, so, and I guess now I'm talking about something else. And I guess the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is being poor and transgender is gender reassignment surgery. I'm not gonna lie, I desperately want gender reassignment surgery. But until my state, North Carolina, puts it on Medicaid, I'm pretty much screwed out of it. Just because getting gender reassignment surgery, or I'm gonna rephrase that, gender affirmation surgery. To get gender affirmation surgery or gender confirmation surgery, gender affirmation or gender confirmation surgery can cost at a minimum $20,000. Yeah, so which makes bathroom bills make no sense because a lot of the poor people can't afford to fix this up on their birth certificate and themselves because we're broke. So, yeah. But, so basically, it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of a catch-22. And so basically, you can't get gender affirmation surgery / gender confirmation surgery, same thing, I'm going to say affirmation. But you can't get gender affirmation surgery unless you have a way to get either a loan and pay it off, which if you're poor, you really can't do, or unless you're like, you have to be upper middle class to rich. I mean, when you're living off of low income to no income, it's just not happening. See, and that's one thing that I want to say. But now other states, and this is what's interesting, Connecticut and several other states, they actually put on Medicaid where it's part of their Medicaid that you can get gender affirmation surgery on Medicaid. North Carolina should really do that. Wouldn't be, number one, it's not like it's going to cause a whole huge jump in Medicaid prices. Well, you know what I mean. Like, but number two, there's a lot of us transgender people are broke. I've even saw where there's been people who do gender affirmation surgeries. Like, I would do them and I take Medicaid if it was available in North Carolina through Medicaid. And I don't think Medicaid is transferable, so I don't think I can use my North Carolina Medicaid to go to Connecticut or go to California, or those may be Connecticut may actually be the closest place. No, New York, I think, also takes Medicaid, but those would be the closest places. Virginia may take it, I don't know. But those would be the actual closest places to get it done. But I don't think you can cross state lines and use Medicaid. You may can, I don't know the ins and outs of Medicaid. So yeah, and it's kind of funny because like my friend's like, well, you could always try to contact Ellen. Yeah, contacting Ellen's probably not. Ellen DeGeneres. You probably know her if you probably know who she is. Yeah, but my friend's like, he's like, you can always contact Ellen DeGeneres and she'll help you. I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't think so. I would love it if she could. I'd love it if she could get the whole surgery paid for, and you know, the whole thing of the whole surgery paid for and me, you know, throwing some Disney princesses somehow in there, that whole situation, that'd be great. But in the end, that, for one thing, that only just affect me. And that wouldn't really do anything. Um, for stuff to be done, policies have got to change. Um, I mean, I'd like for there to be a Medicare. Now, Medicare does pay for gender affirmation surgeries, but it's national. Medicaid is on a state level, state by state, and yeah, North Carolina's legislators right now, again, I'm getting tongue-tied, are probably not going to do it. I mean, they're good at being jerks when it comes to transgender issues. Yeah, so I use the word jerks a lot and cowards sometimes when helping people who are getting transgender issues, because frankly they are. And that usually keeps me from saying a stronger word. So yeah, I can think of a much stronger word, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's listened this far can too. But and the other thing was, well, you could contact Oprah. Yeah, I would like to contact Oprah. I don't really know how, and I don't really, again, that's just working. That just worked for me. I mean, yes, I want gender affirmation surgery for myself. But I would love to get it to where, especially in my state, where it was people who are poor like me could get it, easy access to it. Because I mean, people say, "Oh, it's a cosmetic surgery." No, it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's medical surgery. It's same as replacing a kneecap or something. Or I'd even go say as far as even something like open heart surgery, and that actually saves people's lives. Because there's a lot of people who, and granted, it's a lot of them, it's how society treats them and stuff, but dysphoria can get depression and can get really, really bad. So yeah, it can be gender affirmation surgery is life saving. Again, people don't want to know this. They don't want to pay attention to it, especially in some of the areas that I've been in. And it may not be that people don't want to. It may just be that the people that don't want to are the loudest voices. Again, this is why I'm doing this. I'm being myself and putting my voice out there. So, but it's like, I figured, telling my story and then, saying, look, we got to do something, especially any state that tends to be purple/red. Just give your transgender population gender confirmation surgeries on Medicaid, because I mean it'll save their life, and really it's not affecting anybody else except that person. So I mean, there's not really a reason not to. Also, and I'm just gonna say this because I know there's gonna be something said about it. Just so you people know, in North Carolina, gender confirmation hormones like estrogen and stuff, or hormones to be yourself, are covered in Medicaid. So if anybody's like, oh, I don't want my tax dollars paying for that thing, well, if a person's on Medicaid and they're seeing a gender specialist and on hormones, then yeah, you're probably paying for it anyway. So it's not like you're not paying to help people out, because it's, and here's the thing, in the medical community, it's generally seen as a medical issue. And you want to know how to fix this medical issue? Is to help the transgender people live out their truth as who they are. Like, I'm a transgender woman, so my truth is helping me live out as female. I know some people don't understand that, but maybe someone will. Anyway, this video is almost an hour long, which I didn't think it'd be that long. So I want to say thank you for the people who actually took the time to listen to it. I don't really expect it to go anywhere or get much hits, but you know, I'm gonna put it out there and see what happens. So that's gonna be scary too, because again, I'll probably get trolled and get all of these bad stuff, people, comments and stuff. But I'll do like I did the Facebook when I did the news article. I'll just ignore the bad comments. And so anyway, I don't know if I'll ever do another video. I might. We'll see what happens, but since I know how to do this now, we'll see what happens. Anyway, if you have any questions or anything, put them down in where the comment section will be. I might make another video to answer them. Please like my video if you liked it. I don't know. I may have a million dislikes and one like. Of course, if that one like helps that one other person out there who's transgender, then, you know, if I help one person with this, then I'm totally cool with that. Anyway, yeah, it's evening, so y'all have a good day, morning, evening, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll see if I do another one. Bye.